Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Read Aloud today. Our book for the day is called Amazing Inventions Telephone, and it's written by Mary Elizabeth Salzman. Let's see what this book is about. This book has a table of contents, and the table of contents tells us what we can expect to read in the book. So the first section is called All About Telephones. The second section is called Think About It. And the last section is the glossary. All about telephones. The telephone was invented in 1876. The first ones didn't have numbers. Let's take a peek at this phone. Does this look familiar to you all? Have you seen this anywhere? I don't see any numbers on this. This over here looks a little familiar to me because this handset the lady is holding looks like something I've seen before. But it looks like the handset is connected to a big box. And that I don't think I've ever seen before. So it's sort of familiar, but then there's a part of it that I've never seen before. So, let's see what else this book has to say. You had to talk to an operator. You told the operator whom to call. So I guess because the phones didn't have numbers, you had to have somebody connect your phone to somebody else's phone. And I guess those people are called operators. And I think this picture, well, all of these pictures on this page probably give examples of what it was like to be an operator back when the phones didn't have numbers on them. And it looks like maybe they used these big boards to connect people. I think these boards are called switchboards. Let's keep reading. Dial phones came out in the 1890s. People didn't need operators. Yeah, I can see here these phones do have numbers on them, and it looks like they have letters as well. I remember these phones when I was a little girl because some of my family had them, and the way they worked is you would put your finger in one of these little holes, and then you would pull the dial all the way over to this silver little clip here, and then you let go, and the dial spins back. And you would have to do that for every single number in the telephone number. Pretty interesting. Let's see what else is going on in this book. Whoa. AT&T invented phones with buttons in 1963. Oh, look at all these phones. These look a little bit more familiar to me. What about to you? Have you seen phones like this? Doot, 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 doot. Oh, and here's the redial button. Boop, 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 boop. Many phones send sounds over wires. They are landline phones. So this is a landline phone because it sends its sounds over wires. And look at these telephone poles. These are what they call telephone poles. And they connect phones over long distances, sending sounds and conversations back and forth. Have you ever seen telephone poles before? I like them because they remind me of a letter I've seen. Perhaps it reminds you of a letter you've seen before too. Mobile phones don't use wires. They send sounds through the air. And if you look at this, these are cell towers. Have you ever seen cell towers before? I don't know that I've ever seen a cell tower in person, but these are what they look like. Let's look at the telephone poles. How do they look similar to the cell towers? And how are they different? Telephones let people talk to each other. Carrie calls her grandma. Telephones let people call for help. Max dials 911. Smartphones are small computers. They have cameras, games, and more. Now, these smartphones look very similar to the mobile phones we saw a few pages ago. Let's get back to the mobile phones so you can see what they look like. So this mobile phone looks a little bit like a smartphone, but I think the difference is that the smartphones are small computers and they have cameras, games, and more. That must mean that the mobile phones primarily just connect people to talk so people can have conversations. Let's think about it. Can you count the phones in your house? And what kinds of phones are they? Are they like the mobile phones or smartphones, landline phones or dial phones? Or do you have one of those really old-fashioned phones with no phone numbers or no numbers on them? That would be pretty cool too. Last part of this book is our glossary. Now, glossaries are pages that give you the meaning of special words in the book. So I'm going to go over this glossary just in case there were some words that you didn't understand or need more information about. The first word is called dial. Dial is the part of a telephone that has numbers. It also means to enter a phone number on a telephone. So that one word has two different definitions. The second word is landline, and that's a telephone that's connected to other telephones through a cable or a wire. If you can remember the telephone poles that look like a familiar letter, those are the wires or cables that connect telephones, and they all connect landline telephones. Now, mobile phones are phones that are easy to carry or move around. An operator is someone whose job it is to connect telephone calls. So those are all the words in our glossary. Now, one of the things to remember about this story is that things change all of the time. So even though we still use telephones to connect with each other, the design for the phone has changed over time. And even we've increased or created more ways to use phones. Like think about those smartphones that now we can play games and have cameras on the phone. So this was a really interesting book, and I hope that you take time to really think about the phones in your house, counting them and determining what kinds they are. We hope you had fun listening to this book, and I hope it helps you in your investigation of then and now. Bye.